Hey guys, welcome back. So, as I was editing this morning, this is going to be video 3 of the Bronco. As I was editing this morning, I realized that I did not create an intro for what you guys are going to see in this video. So, me right now is a couple weeks ahead of when this video was actually taken. As you can see, the Bronco is a little more put together than it will be in this video. So I'm just going to explain to you guys what is going on in this video, although it's pretty self-clear what's happening. There were a few rotted spots on the frame, just where the body mount sits. A bunch of salt and stuff gets stuck up under the rubber body mounts and just sits between the body mount and the frame, and it just rots out. It's very common actually. So we called the rot out, made some templates, made some gussets or filler panels, whatever you want to call them. Cleaned it all up, welded it all in, drilled some new holes, nice and strong, lined up perfectly, body mount sat back down. You can pretty much do this at home if you have any, not too rotted frames, obviously. This wasn't super bad, but you could do this right at home. I used a Harbor Freight welder, that's all I had at the time. My Hobart wasn't, I don't remember where it was at the moment, but it wasn't here. I used a Harbor Freight flux core, it's like a $150 welder. Did fine, grinded it all down anyways, painted it, body sits on top of it anyways, along with polyurethane body mount. So, everything was fine. So you can literally do this with, a random sheet of metal, angle grinder, and Harbor Freight welder. So that's what you'll see in this video. I'll let the work speak for itself. I just wanted to give you guys a little rundown and, kind of say what was happening since I didn't take an intro. So yeah. We had to do all that before we could prep it all the way for paint. I didn't want to paint it and then have to grind and cut on the brush paint. So that's what this video is, and then hopefully next video will be paint and primer. We'll see. I'm doing my best to keep up on the videos, but I'm working, and I'm slacking on the editing. So stay tuned. Hope you enjoy this video. Like, comment, tell me if you have any, tips for anything, I guess. Like hearing, from people that have done stuff before. A lot of this is new to me, and I'm just figuring it out as I go. So I hope you guys enjoy, and stay tuned for the next video. Okay, so I'm also going to kind of quickly voice over this to explain what I'm doing. So as you can see, the rot back here is a lot more than we wanted. Bryce had already started welding these ones in for me. He did use his MIG welder, stick welder for these. I did not for the ones in the rear. And as you can see here are my templates that I just cut out of cardboard. Super simple. I cut all the old rot out. Just a chunk of metal I had. I think it's like 3/16. I'm not even sure. Use the templates, traced them. Pretty self-explanatory. Angle grinder with a cutoff wheel. Cut out my fillers, I guess if you'd want to call them. Super simple. Always wear your glasses. Should have a face shield on, but what are you gonna do? We decided to team up and do this just to make things go quicker. That's why he was doing those more forward body mounts while I worked on these rear ones. As you can see, pretty much perfect fit. Need a little bit of grinding. Get them in there nice and flush, but hardly any gaps to fill there. Here I am. I'm gonna just, kind of get this flux core, setting somewhat off the bat. I don't love this welder, but it'll do. Get my helmet dialed in. I haven't welded in a while, a little rusty. It was pretty simple. Made sure there was not very big gaps to fill. Tacked them in at first, and then, did quite a hot pass on them. Top and bottom, grinded them down. Unfortunately, I did not take an after video. I am not sure why. I was just slacking and ready to move on to the next part of the frame prep, I guess. But it did turn out really nice. We ended up using like a 1 inch or an 1.5 inch hole saw. No, it wasn't 1.5 inches. It was smaller. Yeah, it might have been 1.5 inches. Somewhere around there. Hole saw for the holes for those body mounts to sit in. Ended up working perfectly. Yeah, pretty simple, pretty straightforward. You could definitely do this with bare minimum tools, and so if you have any frame rot, you can get it done. Minimum frame rot, obviously if your frame's in half, you're kind of screwed. You could fix that, but probably not with the basic tools. So yeah, now I'm just cleaning them up with a flap disc, and that's pretty much it. Next video should be paint and primer, like I said in the intro. Hopefully you guys stay tuned. And so I did manage to get this screenshot from another clip kind of showing the rear end where we had replaced those pieces. Looks good, simple, doesn't matter, it's getting painted and covered anyways. That's about it. So there's me. I don't know where I went. Gone. Probably need a drink or something, I guess. Stay tuned for part 4.